The O2 Arena in Prague will host an event that will go down in history. Buy your pay-per-view and get a virtual front row seat. It will be a night full of adrenaline and suspense, with 10 fights in total. A battle Europe has never seen before. Serbia versus Greece. VELICKOVIC versus MICHAILIDIS. The best of the best have reached the finals for the European MMA Champions League, the Tipsport game changer. Who will be crowned the best European welterweight fighter and win €300,000? Vlasto Chepo, a man with the hardest punches in Octagon, is going to fight for the interim title in the middleweight division against Piotr Wawrzyniak, a two-time champion of the Polish promotion Babylon MMA. The end of the Cold War is getting near. Light heavyweight champion Carlos Vimola and Piotr Krzysztofic will finally settle their everlasting dispute in the cage. It will be the last time Terminator fights in the O2 Arena before he ends his career. Octagon Underground winner, Daniel Skor, will face one of the best fighters in German history, the legendary Martin Zawada. And in the reserve match of the Tipsport Game Changer final, Dracula Serdu, with 10 first-round finishes, will take on the Italian ace and champion of two promotions, Stefano Paterno. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the spectacular Octagon 51. VELICKOVIC versus MICHAILIDIS. Buy your pay-per-view and watch from the first row on octagon.tv.
Dámy a pánové, chlapci a děvčata, moji milí samurové, vítejte na posledním večírku letošního roku. Toto je turnaj OKTAGON 51 z bezmála vyprodané O2 arény. Krásný dobrý večer vám všem. Jo. Dneska se k češtině ještě vrátíme, ale teď to switchneme do toho anglického jazyka, protože jdeme samozřejmě mezinárodně. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome in O2 Arena Prague. In the center of our heart, Octagon heart, and today we got plenty of joy and fights and entertaining stuff. So this is Brian, English voice of Octagon, and this is Philip, German voice of Octagon.
Ja, das ist der Plan und da natürlich herzlich willkommen an alle Fans, die aus Deutschland zugeschaltet sind. Wir haben eine vollgepackte Fightcard mit 3 Main Events und jetzt können wir gleich loslegen.
Okay, the rest will be in English, yeah?
All right, yeah, sure. You already said.
God, nobody understand now. Okay, so what we got, Brian, tonight?
We have got one of the best cards we've had all year. All roads have led to Prague. 3 main events. We've got the Tipsport Game Changer, Greece versus Serbia, MICHAILIDIS versus Bojan Velickovic. We've got Pirat versus Vimola. We have got Vlasto Chepo vying for the interim middleweight title as well against the Polish warrior, Piotr Wawrzyniak. It's one hell of a card, and this will be one hell of a night to finish us off.
Definitely. Philip, what's your favorite fight tonight?
I think it's by far the Tipsport Game Changer. We have Andreas MICHAILIDIS against Bojan Velickovic, who had, I think with Christian Junger, would be fair to say, the fight of the year, isn't it?
Can be, but let's talk about this final fight. 300,000 for winner, 130,000 for loser, let's say, but still the winner. But the trophy is only one, and trophy cost us more than 10,000 euros. It's something what Bojan was always chasing, and the same for Andreas. So who's the favorite, if we got favorite at all?
It's so hard to pick these two. You look at the journey they've taken to get to this final, going through the likes of Apollo Silva, Grabinski, having to fight Jungwirth, Cosma to make it here. There has been no easy routes to this final, but you've said it, the biggest prize in European MMA history is on the line. The winner will walk away not only becoming the first ever champion, carving their name in history, building their legacy, but also 300,000 euros richer.
Nice money. But the biggest prize is also in second main event of this night, and this is interim belt in a middleweight class. And for Vlasto Chepo, after 4 years, he was expecting something different than he's got in the final. Piotr Wawrzyniak, what we know about him and how he will stand with Vlasto Chepo in the fight?
I think Wawrzyniak is also a dangerous striker. He knows that he can let his hands throw, but he's also dangerous on the ground, which would be interesting against Vlasto Chepo, because Vlasto Chepo, we have seen, he can be rising from the dead when he is knocked down, but he is still very, very dangerous, and I expect him to do very crazy things in this fight. How do you see it, Brian?
Listen, you have got two finishers. You got Vaviceniak, who has got 7 KOs on his record. Vlasto Chepo, 4 years in the game, 12 wins, 12 finishes. He's never been past the second round and not won the fight. So that will be where it lies for me. Can Piotr take him into deeper waters over the 5 rounds? We will see.
I don't believe that we will see 5 rounds, but everything is possible. And like I said on our meeting, maybe Vlasto will win KO in 5th round and everybody will screaming like crazy. But we got also people's main event fight. And this is definitely Carlos against Pirat. It's his last 7th appearance here in O2 Arena and his last tango here. So do you think that it can a little bit scare him in his head and it can be like a farewell tour, what he doesn't really want, and it can be tough for him on the physical way?
It's going to be interesting because it's bound to be emotional, but he is the Terminator. He is this person that has portrayed this invincibility, this mindset, this physical prowess, and achieved so much in this arena. So for me, it's going to be an emotional moment for the fans, for Carlos, but against one of the toughest opponents he could face, Pirat Kristofic. This has been a rivalry since 2016. They have wanted to make this walk to fight each other, and tonight here in Prague, we get to see who truly is the better man.
Do German fans still believe that Terminator against Terminator is possible?
Everybody hopes so, obviously. Everybody wants to see this fight, and I think a lot of Germans will cheer up for this one to make this happen.
Okay, we got another German, Martin Zavada, and he still believes that he can beat the other guy, which is like almost half meter bigger than his.
Absolutely. I mean, if we have seen these two guys, they look like 2 different weight classes, but watch out for Martin Zavada to come out swinging. He's got dangerous hands, and his hands feel like they are made of stone, and if he touches you, you go down, doesn't matter how big you are.
We got plenty of crazy fights. Surdu versus Paterno is one of them. Reserve fight for Game Changer. Maybe this is our last stand for this first stand-up. What do you think about this fight, Brian?
I think it's coming together of 2 of the best welterweights in the division across the planet. Jon Surdu has become a fan favorite here with his style. 11 finishes on his record, 10 of those coming in the first round, and coming off 2 big wins. Lahore back in Manchester, Kurtesh as well at the Stranica, but coming up against Paterno, an unknown quantity in Octagon, but around Europe, around the world, people know just how dangerous he is.
Okay, guys, I think it's time to start this party. Last tournament this year, OKTAGON 51. Ladies and gentlemen, we can start just now.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to OKTAGON 51, the last tournament of the year. I am Luke Barnett, joining you here at the Prague O2 Arena, taking you through the mixed martial arts rules. That the fight will take place in the octagon, which is a circular-shaped cage. You can use standing up techniques as well, like boxing, Thai boxing, karate, and others, as well as continuing to the ground with the grappling techniques such as Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Judo, and wrestling. The fights are scored over 3 5-minute rounds, apart from our 2 fights tonight, which will be 5 5-minute rounds. And the match can end either by a knockout, a submission, a referee stoppage, or victory that comes down to the judges after points. And this time is the first time at Octagon that we will have live scorecards for you that you will openly be able to see in between rounds, as will the fighters and the corners, which is something amazing, Brian.
Certainly is. It's going to be an interesting night, but a wonderful night of fights here as we see out the year 2023 in Prague at OKTAGON 51. This is our prelims. Fiala versus Shaban almost went at it at the weigh-ins yesterday. Tonight they will get to lock that cage door and settle their score. They will open the cards. Then we have Shurmova returning against Mallory Martin. Martin looking for her first victory in OKTAGON. Shurmova coming fresh up, having a baby, and now stepping back into competition. Rochelle versus Parker. This is a banger of a fight. Keep your eye on that one for sure. Penko versus Dorothy in the strawweight contender fight. Who will fight Katharina de Lista? The victor will move on to fight her, and that will be for the strawweight title. And then Rishavi taking on Madureira. He will be stepping in on short notice. Mad Max against Rishavi Bombay. And again, you look at that to top us off. That is the main prelim on this card, and it's got one hell of a fight, right, Luke?
Absolute fireworks in store for that fight for sure. Mad Max taking it quite short notice to make sure it can happen there for Rishavi here, but he always brings action. And Mad Max is exactly that. He is mad. Comes out in the first 3 minutes throwing bombs from all over the place, so you never know what to expect in that first opening round.
Yeah, Karavashavi as well, making his way from lightweight. Already got some huge wins in that division, but now working his way down to featherweight. Was set to take on Tunkara in his featherweight debut and looked good on the scales yesterday at 68 kilograms. Now we move to the business end of the tournament. The Tip Sport Game Changer reserve match. Jon Serdu takes on Paterno. And again, a fighter, Paterno, not known to Octagon fans really, but my goodness, what an amazing scrap that will kick us off in the main card. Then Skvor will take on Zavada. King Kong looking to climb the mountain that is DD Skvor and claim a victory here in Prague. Then we have Vemola versus Kristofic, a catchweight bout at 88.5 kilograms. This a feud since 2016, a score that will be settled in the cage tonight. And then Vlasto Chepo takes on Vavazheniak. That is a fight for the interim middleweight title. That'll be over 5 rounds. And we move on to our main event of the evening, the Tip Sport Game Changer final. Serbia versus Greece, Bojan Velickovic versus Andreas Michailidis. But first, we see the Czech Republic take on Germany. Hassan Diaz Shaban, the firework that is one of the contenders from the first season of Octagon Challenge in Germany, sees the returning Tomáš Fiala here from Prague, representing that monster gym, looking to welcome here and looking for Fiala to claim his first win in Octagon for over a year and a half. Shaban, though, on a 2-fight win streak, looking to claim his first finish in Octagon. An experienced Octagon fighter versus a German prospect. This is Fiala versus Shaban. Another fierce battle is set to go down at Octagon 51. After a 15-month break, a familiar face on the domestic scene returns. Tomáš Fiala is a 2-time amateur Czech champion. He has 7 wins on his record, achieving 5 of them before the limit. The well-rounded fighter gave experienced fighters like Fodor, Petrušek and Široky a hard time. But so far his only win in Octagon was over Salambek in 2020. He finished a tough training camp in Thailand, and now Makhmurudov's sparring partner is ready to return and conquer. Hassan Shaban is 12 years younger than his opponent. He is considered one of Germany's biggest talents, and now trains with the renowned Cater, which has made him faster and more ferocious than before. A finalist in Germany's Octagon Challenge Series, he claimed one of his 2 pro wins over Pipek, although he did not get the finish he was hoping for. He then went on to defeat Gonzala in Oberhausen. Now he prepares to face his second Czech opponent. If he wins, the victory will surely see him ranked amongst the best fighters in the Octagon lightweight division.
So here we go, time to kick off the fun and games to see out 2023 here at Octagon 51, live from the O2 Arena in Prague. Making his way towards the cage, first of all, is Hassan Diaz Shaban, Octagon Challenge German finalist. And you look at the fighter he has walking behind him in Lozen Cater. Now, Luke, the story of this fight, unfortunately, is from the weigh-ins. Missed nearly 800 grams on the scale for the fight. Didn't really try and force himself to push and make that weight again and again. You look at his age, 22 years, and the nickname Diaz, and he gets that because he can be a bit of a firework. We've seen it in a number of occasions, not just at the weigh-ins, but even on Octagon Challenge. There are a number of moments where he had to be chaperoned, taken aside, because that immaturity kind of shone through. You see the skills in the cage, though, Luke. He certainly has them. You see the people he's training with. You just want him to put it all together, and sometimes with him, it's not that physical thing, it's the mental side of it, right?
Yeah, extremely well-rounded fighter. Does well everywhere, but has, I'll use the phrase, a challenging personality. You know, you sometimes he's bouncing between gyms. He doesn't seem to be able to find his home. The only home he has seemed to found is Lozen Cater, which is a great home to find and a great guy to be with. But he has this personality that, with the weigh-ins, missed the weight, didn't really seem like he felt bad about missing the weight. At 22 years old, didn't push his body to try and make the weight. Felt like this kind of arrogance that it doesn't matter. I'm just going to get in there and prove it once I get in the cage. So interesting to see how that plays out for us.
Now we welcome a man back to Octagon. July 2022 was his last fight under this banner. He has had some time away, but looks set and ready to make this walk. Now, Tomáš Fiala, a real character in the sport. And again, one of these fighters, Luke, that
sometimes it's things outside the cage that affect the performances in it, but look at this, the crowd in Prague already firmly behind him. And what we saw yesterday, look, which we haven't seen in some of his other fights, when you jump back to the fights like against Cherokee, was the confidence in his eyes, and he is emitting that now in spades. And I've called a couple of his fights, and each time, even previously before, you know, the weigh-ins, you try and talk to them, and he's kind of sheepish and shy, but this time very confident, very, you know, out there, literally pushing his personality. And look, Makhmurudov in his corner as well. So for me, this is interesting because he's been away for a long time, training in Thailand, but it's not about his skills. For me, it's about, you know, how he is personally, and he looks very confident tonight.
Yeah, look confident in the weigh-ins, and like you said, it almost reinvigorated at the older age of 34 years old, coming against a young German prospect on a strong winning streak. He comes in brimming full of confidence, and he's a dangerous, dangerous guy. Very well-rounded, mixes up the martial arts extremely well when he's on form. So for both of these individuals, it really is a mental battle. So I think a lot is going to be played out in the opening rounds, and I think it's going to be fireworks early. You saw the weigh-ins, these two don't like each other. They had a bit of a scuffle, and I think it all comes down to whoever establishes their dominance early. I think what the other person's going to break mentally, and they're going to run away with the fight. That's my prediction. We'll see how it goes, as now Fiala makes his way back into the octagon cage.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. Like we said, he's got Makhmurudov in his corner there, fighting out that monster gym with Petr Kraniche as well. But he spent some of his camp out there in Thailand. 34 versus 22, 12 years younger is Shaban. He will have a slight height and reach advantage, but the experience firmly on the side of Tomáš Fiala, which is interesting. As Shaban said, I feel like I should be fighting more experienced opponents, when you're looking at Fiala there. 14 fights, the senior in experience within the cage. Let's get this one underway. Let's hand it to the man with the mic. Let's hand it to Ondřej Novotný.
Dámy a pánové, ještě jednou krásný večer v O2 aréně. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, welcome in Prague O2 Arena, and we are ready for the first fight of this evening. Our first contest is lightweight bout that is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds, and the referee in charge is Petr Balej. Let me introduce you, both fighters, and we will start in the blue corner. He's 22 years old, stands 185 centimeters tall, weight in 71.5 kilos. Represents UFD Gym Düsseldorf. Coaches in his corner are Lozen Keita, Islam Dulatov, and Iras. He has a professional record of 3 fights, 2 wins and 1 loss. Fighting out of Germany and Lebanon, finalist of OKTAGON Challenge Germany, Hassan Diaz Shaban! Across the cage in the red corner, 34 years old, 183 centimeters tall, 70.55 kilo. Monster Gym, and the coaches in his corner are Petr Kníže, Lukáš Bárta, and Makhmurudov. He has a professional record of 14 fights, 7 wins, 1 no contest, 5 finishes, and 6 losses. Representing Neruda Cup team, Goldfinger. And fighting out of Czech Republic, Tomáš Fiala!
Gentlemen, you know rules, fight hard and fair. Good luck.
Set and ready for fight number 1 here at OKTAGON 51, the final show of the year here in 2023. Hassan Shaban, he is calling it on already, hitting himself in the face. White shorts, blue corner, taking on Tomáš Fiala. Fiala in the black shorts, red corner. Me, Brian Lacey, alongside Luke Barnett, calling the action here. And again, open scoring will be in effect here, should it go through the rounds.
And Shaban already marked up his own face by hitting himself with the left hand. So interesting tactic early on.
Yeah, he was itching to get out, trying to bait Fiala in.
And again, it's all about confidence, Brian. With the Fiala, it looks a little bit timid to me early on, stiff through the body. At that time he's been spending in Thailand. Hope he's not been working traditional Thai boxing and staying loose, because he mixes the martial arts up so well. When he decides to shoot and enter and change things up, he's very, very effective.
And Hassan Shaban, since OKTAGON Challenge, has joined Lozen Keita over there, and fight by fight, we have seen him evolve, but we've also seen this side, right? He gets emotional, starts talking in there, plays the showman, and we saw Keita get extremely angry with some of that. He wants him to get down to business, right? He wants him to focus on the fight, not focus on this sort of, you know, trash talking in the cage.
Yeah, this personality, or I mean, his nickname is Diaz, and this is almost like a Diaz-esque
Perfect nickname, right?
style for him. But I feel like with a nice right hand there from Fiala, but I feel like with Keita in his corner, Keita likes him to fight clean, to be patient, the same way Keita is, because Keita, that's his style. And I don't know if that really fits.
Oh, he's wobbled him. He's wobbled him. The uppercut just caught the head there.
Oh,
Shaban looking early now to follow up on the finish.
And another one.
Oh, jump knee. Fiala in trouble. Fiala.
Right hand lands, uppercut again.
Here we go. Oh, this could be it. And that is it. The referee's going to step in, surely. Shot after shot coming in from Hassan Shaban. How many more? Fiala covering up.
Interesting decision by the ref, but Fiala manages to get some sort of guard back. Let's see how he responds.
Wow, I would have bet my house that was it. Oh, chop knee. He's out. He is out. Wow, Hassan Shaban claiming his first finish in Octagon. And what a way to do it.
Well, I mean, it's a present that the referee let it continue, because a jumping knee knockout to finish. Fire safety was not paramount in that fight, but an incredible finish from Shaban. And what, he looked like a different animal, Brian. Looked switched on, powerful,
hungry, right?
confident, very, very different. We even said in the commentary meeting, this will probably be a decision. We don't see many finishes out of him, and he comes out and puts on a performance like that.
There was certainly some fire behind that performance. Oh, and still, look, Hassan Shaban talking to his man. At least there's a smile on the face now. But what a performance, and what a finish. We talked about it, like you said, we broke it down. We said the only thing missing from Hassan Shaban's game is that finishing ability, and he's just wiped that away, right?
Incredible, like twice. Like you said, you called it, thought it was the end of the fight. We'll see the highlights here. There's the right hand that starts it off. Sneaky over the top, and there was this little uppercut that landed as well. Caught him behind the ear with that right hand, I believe. Here's the first attempt at the jump knee. Caught him just in the chest, and he goes for it again, and then he lands a third one after he gets back up to his feet. This is when he buckles him down to the ground. This is when we felt the referee was going to call an end, and here's the finish. It reminds me of a finish that I've seen before on the Ultimate Fighter 17 with a fighter called Gilbert Smith. I can't remember the lanky guy that did jumping knee, but it's very, very similar. Go back and watch it. Incredible.
Wow, there we go. There's the stats. And again,
I mean, the stats don't matter. Under
really?
2 minutes, knockout, beautiful work.
2 knockouts technically, right? Do we give him 2 on his record? Unbelievable stuff. What a way to kick us off here. Octagon 51. That has set the bar very high for what is to follow. And Lozen Keita in the cage. Now I'm just watching him talk to the German commentator, Phil Harberger. He'll be happy with that as well, right? I mean, there's such a wild card with Hassan Shaban and his emotions, but...
He jumped the fence to get in there and give him a hug. I think he's very, very pleased. But getting shouted at right now by Andre Novotny.
I don't think they're impressed with jumping the fence. Anyway, look at that. What a performance. What a victory. What a finish. We will make it official to do that. Let's hand it now to Andre Novotny.
Ladies and gentlemen, we know the first winner of this night after 1 minute, 58 seconds by KO, Hassan Diaz Shaban.
Ivan, Tommy.
Hassan, herzlichen Glückwunsch zu deinem Sieg. Das war ein kurzer Prozess. Hast du das von deinem Coach Keita mitbekommen?
Ja, Mann. Coach Keita, Iras, Islam Dulatov. Egal, wen ich vergessen habe, ich bin gerade einfach glücklich. Und ich lebe meinen Traum. Dankeschön, Prag, wieder für eine schöne Zeit. Ich hoffe jetzt an alle Neider und Leute, die mich nicht mögen und so, die immer sagen, Hassan ist ein respektloser Fighter, arroganter Fighter. Ich bin kein arroganter Fighter. Ich bin einfach nur von nichts gekommen und heute bin ich hier, kann mich repräsentieren als Team UFD Number 1 und hinter mir ist Keita. Ich hoffe für ewig und ich danke an mein ganzes Team. Und ich habe heute eine Nachricht gelesen von Tommy und der wollte unbedingt, dass ich den finische. Tommy, ich schwöre, wenn ich nach Düsseldorf komme, ich will einen fetten Steak und eine Rolex. Nein, Spaß. Okay, viel Spaß, Prag. Thank you very much, guys. I hope the show is good for you. And I'm not a respect. I have respect to people. Don't say I'm not. I don't have respect and I'm arrogant. Please, people, let me live my life. Yes. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hassan Shaban.
A great and short fight we've seen now. The fighter this time, Hassan Shaban, was grateful for Keita and Dulatov training him, and it was indeed a dream coming through. He thanked Prague for this fantastic event, saying that nobody ought to say he's disrespectful or arrogant. He started from scratch, and now he's on top, hoping Keita will be his coach forever. Hoping as well that Tommy will make him a great steak after Shaban coming home. So once again, he's living his great dream and thanking Prague for this day.
The night off, but jump kneeing the night off here at Octagon 51 in some style. There was heat at the weigh-ins, and it really did turn into an explosive 2 minutes of combat there, Luke. Outstanding finish.
Outstanding indeed, and style points for sure. The referee gave him the opportunity to win with style points, and he came through and took them back. I mean, amazing performance, getting the finish, in our opinion, twice to close out the first fight here on our prelims. Incredible stuff, and a real, sometimes you see that at the weigh-ins, you see that energy.
Yeah, the animosity, right?
And then it's flat in the fight. We didn't see that. He brought it at the weigh-ins, he brought it at the fight, and then he brought it in the post-press as well. So fantastic stuff from him.
Boom, 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 boom. I'm gonna shoot you right now.
To je zápas, na který se opravdu těším. Viac sa poď, aby si navážil. Ve wrestlingu ho vemu klidně zpátky do školky.
Klame, vymýšľa si podvodník. Starý podvodník, starý automatár to je.
Piráte, ty jsi ale strašný prase. Ale tady jsem přepočítal, kamaráde. Stahuju se na tebou mraky. Na ho dopadne pirátov hněv. Já ho zaručím, já ho tam umlátím, já ho potupím.
Za to, že si takýto chrapu, tak znesvetím tvoje telo v našom zápase. Do dôchodu ťa pošlu.
A rivalry that must be settled. Terminator Vimola versus Pirat Kristofic on the 29th of December at Prague's O2 Arena. Give them an experience. Give them Octagon. Tickets on sale at octagonmma.com.
That fight goes down tonight, 2016. That started, and it settles tonight here at Octagon 51. Next up, though, we have this Magdalena Shormova making her return to competition after having her beautiful baby boy, Killian, and taking on the American Mallory Martin. Martin, a UFC vet, an Invicta vet, has had plenty of experience, but Shormova here looking to make it a welcome home to be remembered.
In the second bout on this exciting Octagon 51 fight card, Czech fan favorite Magdalena Shormova will go up against American warrior Mallory Martin. A veteran on the domestic scene, Shormova knows how to apply pressure in the cage. 7 of her 10 pro wins are achieved by finish, and half of these came in the first round. The ground is her domain, and that is where she's already finished 5 opponents, such as Kiara Penko.
Málo času zostáva, ale...
Mallory Martin has fought some of the best women in the world, such as number 8, Jande Broba, and world number 6, Macy Barber. The BJJ brown belt holder is a well-rounded fighter, with 7 pro wins on her record, 2 by knockout and 2 by submission. She's already gone head-to-head with the champion Katarina Delista in the Octagon cage. Next, she'll take on a Czech fighter who represents Reinders MMA on her home turf in the city of Prague.
So here she comes skipping towards the octagon cage for the second time. It is Mallory Martin. And again, Luke, when we look at the CV, the fighters she has stepped inside the cage with to compete on, you have got